Morning, everybody. My name's Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in chilly Frederick, Colorado this morning. And today we're going to check out a 2026 Newmar Grand Star. So this is the 3444 floor plan. This is 34 feet 11 inches in length. It's 8 feet 6 inches wide and 13 feet tall. Now, the Newmar Grand Star is built on a Freightliner S2RV chassis, which is a chassis that Freightliner kind of purposely builds just for the RV industry. It's pretty cool. Under the hood, you got a Cummins 6.7 liter engine, which makes 360 horsepower and 800 foot-pounds of torque. This has a Allison 6-speed transmission. You have a 12,000 pound towing capacity. Now, before we head inside, we'll do a quick tour around the exterior and show you some of the bays out there, and then we'll head on in. And coming around the front, you can see this was built with the cab over bunk, that big protrusion over the windshield up there. Now, on either side of this chassis, you're gonna have these breakaway mirrors. So you can tuck these in all the way if you need to. So if you ever have to get this into a tight spot, it's nice to be able to tuck those in a little bit, maybe if you're parking it in a garage, because that will be the widest point on the coach. Coming back a little farther, we'll have one of our side cameras right here. So you do have left and right cameras that are hooked up to your blinker on this coach. So when you put on your left turn signal, it's going to display your left camera there. So it makes it really easy to drive, even though this is about 35 feet in length. So in our first bay right here, we're just gonna have our chassis batteries, as well as our hydraulic fluid for our hydraulic leveling system there on the left. And our next one back here is going to be our Oasis system. So this one was built as an all-electric coach. There is no propane on board whatsoever. So your Oasis system will work as your coach heating and also your continuous hot water. All runs through there. You can run this either as a diesel burner, where it'll pull off your chassis diesel tanks and burn diesel to provide heat, or you have two electric elements inside it. So if you're plugged into shore power, or you're running the generator like we are right now, you can run this off of electricity as well. This next bay is just going to be some storage. So all of these storage bays have this nice felt all the way around. So it keeps anything you put in there from rattling around too much, and also helps with insulation for road noise. And they'll also all have lights in them as well. Our next bay here is going to be our wet bay. So over here on the left, we're going to have our whole house water filtration system. We're going to have our freshwater city connection, our black tank wash right here, your freshwater fill valves, and we also have an outdoor shower. So you do have hot and cold water with the little shower head attachment. Your water pumps up there on the right side, and then down below is going to be our black tank dump. And coming down along the side here, you can see the nice Grand Star Newmar logo you have. It's actually pretty neat too. Newmar actually paint matches their dryer vents, so that is actually your dryer vent right there, but you can see the way it's paint matched, it just kind of folds in seamlessly with the rest of the coach. Doesn't stand out. Right here is going to be your diesel fill for your diesel tanks. And this compartment is going to be our generator. So this coach has an 8,000 watt Onan quiet diesel generator. You can see it's running right now, so we got it powering the coach at the moment. And then back here, it's going to be our 50 amp shore power cord, which is on a power reel. You just flip this switch right over here, and it'll reel the whole thing in for you. You also have your automatic transfer switch and your surge protector in that black box built into the back there. And then finally, back here is going to be our gray tank dump. So this does have 52 gallons of gray water capacity and 52 gallons of black water capacity, as well as 100 gallons of fresh water. Our freshwater tanks are going to be on the passenger side. So coming around the back here, we can see the nice Grand Star logo again. This one actually has a rear window in the bedroom, which is pretty nice. Up above, we're gonna have our backup camera. And then looking towards the bottom, so this one was done with the Gen Y towing hitch, which again is a 12,000 pound towing capacity. And underneath there, we also have the nice Newmar rock guard. All right, coming down our passenger side. This first bay is going to be split with a little bit of storage and also our 2,000 watt Victron inverter. So that's that blue box you see there on the right hand side. Now this next one's going to be our house batteries and a little bit of storage up top. I really like that they add that little bit of storage. And Jody, if you can get a shot in there, you can see how far back that goes. So it's a good place if you have, you know, unusually long items, maybe fishing poles or something that you bring on the road with you, you'll be able to fit them in there really comfortably. This coach has 6-volt AGM house batteries. So in here is just going to be your freshwater tanks behind there. Now all of your holding tanks, your black water, your gray water, and your freshwater all have 12-volt heating pads on them. And again, it is 100 gallons of fresh water. And then coming down this side, our next 3 bays are all going to be storage. Now you can see this black box here on the right. This one was actually optioned with the central vacuum. So that's your road vac central vacuum system. You can hook up to those hoses out here if you want to use it to vacuum out any of your exterior bays, but there's also going to be a connection that we'll see inside. And then finally, we just have 2 more storage compartments right here. Again, all of these have lights and they're felted all the way throughout. And then we also have the exterior entertainment system on here. So that's built into this bay right here. We have our TV, our Samsung Smart TV, and our Bose soundbar. So that soundbar you can connect to via Bluetooth if you want to use it just as a speaker for your phone instead of using the TV. If you look back there into the right, we do have outlets out here as well. So you have 110 outlets as well as USB-C or USB-A charging. So any of your personal devices or anything else you want to hook up outside, you have outlets right there to do that. Now a couple more things before we head inside. This one does have the full campsite awning up there. We don't have it out today because it's about 40 degrees and I'd like to get some sun, but you do have that option. This has frameless windows all the way around as well. But all right, we'll go ahead and head on inside now. Okay, so right now we have this all closed up. We always like to show you guys what it looks like with it closed up, because even with our slide in here, we have plenty of room to get back here into the bathroom, plenty of room to use everything in the kitchen, open our refrigerator. So even with the slides closed, it's not very tight. We'll go ahead and put that slide out now. So this coach is built with tile floors down the middle and then the patio weave on your slide. So that patio weave is something that Newmar started doing, I believe this year actually. Instead of having the carpet on the slides, the patio weave is just a lot cleaner option. Now you can option the Grand Star with in-floor heating as well, the radiant heating below the tile. This one was not optioned that way, but again, that's something you could build into it if you wanted to. Now, first off, we'll go over some of our living space here. So this one was done with the theater seats. These are manual theater seats, so you'll just have this little pull right there. And then we have 3 storage cabinets all the way across, and these are all pass-throughs. So any long items you can still fit in there pretty comfortably. We'll have manual shades on all of our windows. So there's our blackout shades and there's our day shades. So on all of your windows, you're gonna have those roller shades. All of these windows are also tilt outs as well. So we just crank that little screw right there. That's about as far as they open. So just lets a little bit of air into the coach, gets you that nice cross breeze. We also have some storage here in the theater seats. I like that they put this, this kind of matches your countertops, but it gives you a solid space. If you have drinks or anything, you're not setting it on the leather. You have a nice solid space to put that. Of course, you do have cup holders as well, but you have quite a bit of storage inside the couch or the theater seats. Now, shifting to our other side. So this one was done with the booth dinette. This booth dinette is a drop-down booth dinette. So if we pull this little handle right here, this whole thing will drop down. It'll actually drop underneath these cushions, and then you have an additional cushion back in the bedroom. So you can turn this into a small bed, just, you know, accessory sleeping for about one child. You also have seat belts on your forward-facing bench seat right here, and also seat belts on your theater seating. Now, behind our booth dinette, we're gonna have some more storage back here, as well as up above. And there are 110 outlets on either side of your booth dinette as well. So if you want to work from the road and you need to plug in a laptop or computer, printer, or anything like that, you have outlets there for that. And then we have the same storage over here, as well as kind of your AV cabinet up there. So that's all your hookups for your TVs in this coach. If you want to stream something, you know, via HDMI, you have all the hookups in that cabinet there. And then again, just like we saw outside, it's a Samsung Smart TV with a Bose soundbar that you can hook up to via Bluetooth. Now, your other sleeping arrangement's gonna be up front. So as we mentioned outside, this one was done with the cab over bunk. I really like the way Newmar does this cab over bunk with this hinging up on gas struts, because getting down into the chassis, I don't really have to worry about hitting my head on anything. You can just get down to here and sit down. So it's really comfortable, unlike some Super Cs that you always end up hitting your head on the cab over bunks. Now when we pull that down, that's gonna be one of your sleeping areas. So this is comfortable, or large enough to comfortably fit 2 adults, I'd say. And you do have a power shade up top. So that shade's just on a little switch right here. And that'll come all the way down to black out the cab over bunk for whoever's sleeping up there. Now, you also have AC vents for the cab over bunk, which is a really nice thing. A lot of manufacturers seem to miss that, and then, you know, you can end up kind of cooking whoever's up in your cab over bunk. So having ducted AC to your cab over bunk is really nice. This will also have a blackout roller shade right here. So if we pull that down, and completely black out that cab over bunk for whoever's sleeping in there, as well as obviously doubles as a privacy shade. You also have, actually maybe this one doesn't have the shade there. All right, so we'll head back into the kitchen now. Clear some of this off here. So again, since this one was done all electric, you're gonna have your 2-burner induction cooktop in here. And as Newmar does with all their coaches, this is a removable cooktop. So if you look back there, this just plugs into 110 under the countertop. So if you wanted to take this outside and plug it in, maybe into those outlets we saw next to the TV, you could take it out there and do your cooking outdoors. You're also gonna have a convection Whirlpool microwave that also doubles as an air fryer, which is a pretty cool feature that Newmar's doing on a lot of their coaches lately. We have some storage up here above the sink. And right now we have our manuals in here, but very roomy cabinet up there. And then our nice deep stainless steel farm sink. I really like the color of stainless steel on this. It's not really bright. It's kind of like a black or gray stainless steel. So it's, you know, just a little less tacky. Now take a look at some of the storage under the sink. Right here we're gonna have a little tilt out. So good spot to put sponges, soap, anything you want to keep right next to the sink. Then a really deep storage compartment down there below. It's not all taken up by plumbing. You have plenty of room in there for, you know, all your pots and pans. We're gonna have 4 pull-out drawers here in the middle. These are all really long. They go pretty much about the full length of the countertop. And these are all soft close drawers as well. And then finally, you have a nice drawer here underneath your cooktop. This is gonna have all our remotes in here. So our remotes for our Bose soundbars, our Samsung TVs. You also have some spare paint, touch-up paint for anything on the exterior. And then we have 2 more drawers down here. And again, while we're looking down here, it's a good time to point out the patio weave here. So this patio weave, it's not like the carpet you get on a lot of coaches. It's just a lot cleaner, a little bit more of an aesthetic appeal, and obviously it doesn't get as dirty as carpet does. All right, now we'll head into the bathroom. So you'll have your Dometic porcelain toilet here. Same windows everywhere else in the coach. You got the day shades and the night shades, and this is a tilt out window as well. We have some storage here above the toilet. And looking all the way up to the ceiling, you do have an exhaust fan here in the bathroom. And then let me get the lights in here on. There we go. All right, so we have our mirror right here with a medicine cabinet behind it. Now, this one was done with this kind of bowl sink. Newmar does this on a lot of their coaches versus, inlaying it into the countertop. And the reason why we actually like these is because it lets you use all this storage kind of around the bowl. So toothbrushes, toothpaste, anything like that you leave on the sink. When you don't have a lot of countertop space, having that countertop space kind of underneath and around the bowl really helps just, take it a little bit farther. And back here, just a little bit more storage in this corner cabinet. This goes really deep, as you can see. About 16 inches back, I would say. On the back wall behind your countertops, you have an outlet as well. So if you have electric toothbrushes, anything like that you need to plug in, you have a charging port right there for it. And then a couple storage drawers down here. Well, that one's not a drawer, that would be just kind of a cabinet. But these two are going to be small drawers. And then some more storage underneath the sink, which is also where your toilet paper holder is going to be. So when you're actually sitting on the toilet, when you open that cabinet, it's going to have your toilet paper holder sitting right in front of you. And then shifting to the other side, we'll take a look at the shower real quickly. So this isn't one of those little pocket corner showers. It's closer to, an actual square shower that you can fit in. So you can see I'm about 6 foot. I still have plenty of room above me. The, shower heads are even still above me. They're not spraying you on the chest like you get in a lot. You have a skylight here in the bathroom, in the shower, which helps us feel a little bit roomier. This one was also done with the shower miser system. So what this shower miser system does is while you're waiting for your water to heat up, it is a continuous hot water heater, but it still takes a few minutes to get going. While you're waiting for your water to heat up, you can turn this on to recirculate. So instead of just wasting water and sending it to the gray tanks while you're waiting for it to heat up, when you turn this on, it's going to recycle that water back to your freshwater tanks until it's heated up. Once it's heated up, this light down here will light up, and then you'll just turn the valve, and then you're good to go. It'll start sending the water back to your gray tank. But even though you have 100 gallons of fresh water, it's still a good thing to have to be able to extend that water as long as you can. All right. Oh, and then finally, we forgot to go over our refrigerator here in the kitchen. So Whirlpool refrigerator and freezer, and you have an ice maker up top as well. And then there's going to be a pantry down here with some pull-out drawers. All of these are pull-out drawers all the way down. So those are really nice, makes it very easy to be able to access any of your storage or anything you put all the way into the back. You don't have to reach all the way back in there, it'll come all the way out to you. All right, so heading back into the bedroom. Looks like they put some tape on our TV here. So on either side of the TV, you're gonna have some hanging storage. So we have a curtain rod up above so you can hang all your clothing in there. And then this one was actually optioned with the washer dryer, I'm sorry, this one doesn't have the washer dryer. So we just have storage down there instead. You have these adjustable shelves in here you can put to whatever height you want to. So if you did do this with the washer dryer, your dryer would take up this space and your washer would take up the other. But since that was done without this, you just get a lot more storage. So here in the center, we'll have 3 nice drawers. And then 2 more drawers here below the TV. And again, it's a Samsung Smart TV, just like we saw everywhere else throughout the coach. Over on this side, same cabinets as the other side. We'll have our hanging storage there. And more storage down below. All right, and then look into the back. This is actually gonna be your emergency exit, but having this bedroom window is really nice. A lot of these Super Cs, you go into the bedroom in the rear and it'll feel kind of like a coffin because you only have the windows on either side of the bed. So having that rear window in the bedroom really lets a lot of light in here, you know, in my opinion. Now, looking towards our bed, so right here is the cushion for that booth dinette we were talking about. So when you drop down the table, you'll throw this in the middle and that'll work as your bed. Now this is a tilt bed. So right now it's all the way up, but if we want to put it out, I'll just hold this switch right here on the wall. Get that laid all the way out. So this is a residential king size bed, 72 by 80 inches. It's not an RV king, it is a full size king bed. We have some storage up above here. You have outlets back there in the center. So if you wanted to plug in a CPAP machine or anything, you have an outlet there as well as a little port right here. This little black hard plastic, you just punch that out and you can drop your tubes right down through there, or cords for your devices, anything like that. We have opening windows on either side of the bed, and these aren't tilt outs. These actually lift all the way up. So they provide plenty of airflow if you want to get that cross breeze in here across your bed. And then we have little nightstands on either side. Now that does have a little bit of storage behind there, but you also have the outlets with the USB charging. So good spots for charging for all your devices. All right, now we'll head up to the front of the coach, but before we do that, we're gonna go over our control panel real quick. So everything on this coach, except for the slides and a couple things, are gonna be controlled on here. So right now we're on our home screen. What this is gonna show is your water pump, so you can turn on your water pump from here, and your tank heaters, and it'll also display all your tank capacities. So right now all our tanks are at 0%, obviously, because this is a brand new unit. You also have master light switches for everything right here. So master, all lights on or all lights off, is gonna control every single light in this coach. Under your AGS, this does have automatic generator start. So you can see right now our generator is running. Automatic gen start, if you wanted to set this up, you can set this up based off of the house or chassis voltage or the HVAC demand. So if you set your HVAC to a certain temperature, when it gets out of that range, it's going to signal it to kick on the generator to provide power to your ACs. Our next one's going to be our HVAC controls. So you can see right now we have the furnace running. It's 61 degrees in here. I have our Oasis turned on. So our Oasis that we discussed for our hydronic heating. This is turned on to your burner and your AC 1 and 2 element right now. So it's providing, you know, the maximum amount of heating that we can get. There's only 2 zones, living room and bedroom. So you have 2 15K BTU ACs in this coach. Both of them have heat pumps. Our next one's going to be your Bluetooth pair. So you can actually download the Newmar app and pair it to the coach and control everything on this control panel with your cell phone. So if you're sitting in bed or you're outside the coach, you can do all that on your phone without ever having to come up to this panel. And then the final one's going to be our lighting panel. So this just allows you to control lights individually by clicking on them on there. We have our living room, our kitchen in here, our bathroom, and our bedroom. All right, so go over our overhead controls real quick here before we head up to the chassis. So left to right, we have our coach battery disconnect. We have our step on and off switch. So if you don't want your step to go in every time you close the door, you'd turn that off. You have the block heater for the engine and our patio light switch. Up above is just going to be your inverter controls. Right here is going to be the Winegard satellite. And then this would be our awning controls. So we have our awning control as well as our awning lights right here, because there are LED lights on your awnings. This is going to be your power control system, just kind of showing what's going on with the power in the coach. So you can see right now our generator's running. And then finally over here on the right side, we have our slide control. So that's for our full wall slide on the right side of the coach. Now, while we head up front, also mention you have this nice soft touch ceiling all the way through the coach. That really helps with, you know, sound insulation. and also ducted AC all the way down the center. So you'll have your intakes and your dumps right down the center. So when this is completely closed up, you don't have your AC dumps or intakes under the slides. They're right down the middle where it's always open. All right, so we'll finish up here in the chassis. Go ahead and get it started for us. Just go over a few of the things on here real quick. So again, this has hydraulic leveling. It's our EQ leveling system right here. So if you want to level this, all we have to do is press power and press auto level, and it'll level the entire coach itself. You can also pair this to an iPhone or an Android, and you can do all the leveling from your phone as well. You can also adjust each individual jack from your phone. So maybe if you're sitting in bed at night and you feel like maybe it didn't get the leveling exactly right, you can hop on your phone and sit there and adjust that. Over here, we're gonna have our gen start switch. So our generator can be started from the control panel, but we can also start it from right here on the dash. We have our house battery or chassis boost. So what this battery boost does is it'll link your house and your chassis battery together. So if you say kill your chassis battery, but your house battery still has some juice, you can jump your chassis battery off of your house battery or vice versa. Down below is just your AC controls. Really, really simple here. You have 4 fan speeds and your thermostat right there. Over here, this first switch is going to be our fast idle. So what fast idle does is this coach will naturally idle, somewhere around 700 RPMs. If you turn on fast idle, it's going to kick that up to about 12 to 1300. The reason why you'll do that is because this coach does have air brakes, and it takes a minute for those brakes to air up. So if you turn it on to fast idle, it's just going to air it up a little bit quicker. Right here's going to be our 4-ways, our footwell light, and our auto traction control override. Now, looking on our little tablet right here, we'll see that's going to be our left side camera, activated with our blinker, and then our right side camera. And then it's also going to show our rear view camera on there. So if I put that in reverse, now we're looking at our rear view camera. Now, the shifter for this coach is right here on the right side of the steering wheel. You can see this little knob right here. We have drive, neutral, and reverse. You're just gonna twist that. This will also work as your exhaust brake. So right now it's off and your exhaust brake is on. And you can also use this as your paddle shifter. So if you wanna use this coach in manual, you push in this button here at the end until it tells you manual is engaged, and then this works as a paddle shifter, just up and down. And then up here, this big yellow knob is just going to be your parking brake. Again, this has air brakes, so that'll engage your air brakes. And then finally, these are air ride seats. So if you look down here, I'll show you the controls real quick. So we can air this up or release your air right there. You also have the air lumbar support in there. All right, that'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions about this coach, you want to come by Transwest to check it out, or there's something we didn't cover in the video that you're curious about, please reach out. You can find my email or my phone number down below. Thank you.